Okay, so what's happening? First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Hot, hot, hot.
Oppressively hot.
No, we're finally getting into it, and I knew it was gonna happen. Everybody complained about the rain and the
Yeah,
rain and the rain. I was like,
cool.
"Dude, what's gonna happen? It's gonna get hot as Hades out here."
Yeah, it goes from like 50 to
Yep,
98,
yep.
which I am not complaining because I do like warmer weather, but this is like, it's oppressive. It's,
I always think about, like, I grew up with no air conditioning.
mm,
And, did y'all have air conditioning?
no.
Oh, okay. So I always think about when we were growing up, and I remember one time it was so hot we slept on the porch.
Oh, really?
It was so
Yeah.
hot.
I
And the
remember
air
we
wasn't
lived.
moving. And I
Yeah.
remember my mom had a fan in the window. Of course, fan in the window is just blowing
That-
hot air,
right.
but it's air.
Yeah.
But we slept on the porch, like it was just hot. This was on Ohio Avenue.
I remember like having the fan, but we would start it at like 7, shut the door. My mom would be like, shut the door, keep it cool in there. And we'd have the fan like sitting up with newspaper, rolled up newspaper, so it would be level with the, because it didn't really have a,
Okay,
it was a weird kind
yeah.
of window sill. And then, but yeah, but by like 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes we had to cut that fan off.
Oh
It
yeah,
was chilly.
yeah, because it
So,
would get
we call it good old, listen, I forgot about that. It's good old days. We didn't know different. I don't know if we could survive. Back then, we didn't know it was as
Yeah.
hot. Maybe
So
it wasn't
now,
as
like,
hot.
I think about the heat, and I always think about people who don't have central air. Like, I stay. It's so funny. I stay in that space of
Yeah.
like where I once was, and I don't take it for granted. Even cars, like, I'm like, how are people driving a car
No.
with no air? And
My-
they're like,
my first
the
car,
way we did it with no air.
my
Yeah.
car didn't have air, and my parents. It was funny because we got them central air at some point in adulthood, probably 20 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
longer. My parents never ran it. My sister would get so upset, like, you have a unit,
Yeah.
and they would never want to turn it on.
And they're like, it's fine. Yeah, it's
Crazy.
fine. That's fine. So speaking of hot,
Okay.
are y'all traveling this year? And I have a good question.
We are going on a vacation next month. Although now I'm like, are we gonna die? Because I gotta worry about terrorists. But I'm
That's scary.
yeah. Well, it always is. But now we had to put our
Mm-hmm.
big old target on our backs.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta walk with a swivel head a little bit.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
get
we're
a shirt
going.
that says I'm Canadian.
I know, right? Right. Like, don't blame me. I didn't vote for him.
No, I'm kidding. I really was gonna get a shirt that said, "Hey, he lives
Yeah,
over there.
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy."
I saw a picture that was like the picture of I probably saw it on Facebook. It's like a picture of the state. It's like that, like a map, and it looks like Florida. Oh, it is Florida. And on the one side it says circle, and it goes, "He stays here." Like, this is his. This is where he is. I was like, don't have this. It really is one of like I ain't with this guy.
That's on him.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So the reason I was asking
Yeah.
was,
Where are you going? Anywhere?
I don't have anything planned yet.
Okay.
Like it's
Okay.
been a weird year for me. Like I
Okay.
think of the whole house thing and all that. So
Yeah.
I don't have like not one single thing planned. I'm mad at you because you got the tickets to Dave Chappelle, and
I did.
I was trying to get them, and like I looked at like 12:30 and they were gone.
Oh, so it must have just been a couple hours. We weren't right at 10, but I know it wasn't like that.
How did you keep snagging these tickets?
Look.
I should just give you the money. Like, get me two
Like, but you
also.
know, yeah.
Anyway, so the reason I was asking was my brother and I were just talking about because he was on a golf trip, and which seems to be atypical, right, of a marriage. But do the masses travel separately? Like, do you go on vacations without
Without
your husband?
I did not always. I have adopted travel by myself the last couple of years.
Okay.
The kids are old enough. One was off to college at the time. The other one was going off to college. So I have, actually, it's funny you said that. I just talked to the person I travel with, my friend, and I said, so we doing a trip this year? Because she had some other stuff going on, and I wasn't sure if we were going to like kick something. We kind of been on this rhythm of doing, something together.
Yeah.
Just like a friendship trip. And so yeah, more recently, now when they were little,
No way.
Everything was a family trip. You know what I say? You just taking your family and the chaos to a new location.
Yeah.
But the last couple of years, I've been trying to do better.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go back to ask you this.
All right.
Would you encourage it for a newly married couple? Or even your children? Like your children, if you would say, hey, it's okay that you guys.
Travel on your own.
Yes.
I think it's okay. I don't even know what. I mean, I probably had my reasons why I didn't travel before. Some of it was economic. Some of it was just like the flexibility of when you're a stay-at-home mom, your husband works, and so you just can't cut out. Like I waited till my kids were pretty independent, but I think you can start a relationship in a like couplehood, married or otherwise, with someone, and make a decision that each of you can do your own thing.
Okay.
I think it's okay. I think it's ideal if you guys like each other and can travel together.
No, no, no. And I
But
think, that, of course,
but
you
you
want
know,
that.
because
You
there's some
want
people that don't do that at all.
really.
Yeah.
They don't even go on vacations together.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
That's a different problem.
Yeah, that's
Different,
that's a
different
whole nother.
discussion
Yeah,
too.
that's a
But
whole
yeah,
nother. Yeah.
so I think you can like your partner and want to hang out with them, and you should enjoy their company. And then I think it's okay. I've learned it's okay to be missed.
I do too.
Hmm.
Like I do too. If I was to give advice, I would say have your own life.
Yeah.
And I don't mean have your own life like, I just mean like if you want to go to a tennis tournament, fly fishing, golfing trip, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I said because I do believe that you still have to have joy as an individual and carve out what makes you
Okay.
happy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And typically, guys have more hobbies than females.
True. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And I think
Like we race cars, like
Yeah.
we'll do all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Why do you think that is? Do you think we're conditioned in our society? I think it's conditioning. I already answered my own question.
I want to hear this.
I feel like we are conditioned as men and women to. I think it's harder for a woman, and I say this as a woman. I think it's harder for us to validate our sense of selves.
Mm. Mm.
I think guys go into relationships kind of like that already
With hobbies?
with what you.
Because, see, I don't know a lot of young women that have hobbies.
Yeah,
See, I think it's a hobby related thing.
I still think we have a tendency to maybe like to do things and put those things on the back burner when we become a family. I can think of things that I did, and
I would agree to that if women came into it with hobbies. I
Right,
just think a lot
right,
of women don't
right.
have the. You
I,
get what I'm saying? Like, what exactly are you putting on the back burner if you weren't doing anything?
I don't know. I have friends, and maybe hobbies looks different. I feel strongly. I have several friends who I feel like have established a sense of self enough with themselves that they do certain things and they do those things with kids, and they always did. Now they weren't exciting to me necessarily, but it was their this is what brings me peace stuff, and
Yeah.
and they do their own things. But I know women also who would say, "Oh, I used to do this. I remember doing this so much before I had kids, and I need to get back to that." And you're like, "Why?
Why don't you?
Why don't?" I mean,
Yeah.
dance is a perfect example for me. That's a hobby.
Dance?
Hmm.
Okay.
I probably
Boogie woogie.
yeah.
Okay.
I probably pulled away and didn't find myself doing that as much once I got married and had kids.
Line dancing or
Any
like
kind of
salsa
dance,
dancing
any
or
of it. I took
yeah,
classes.
then that's a little dicey because if you don't have a partner who wants to dance with you and you're out dancing, salsa dancing, which is to me very sultry, that could be
Yeah. Well, then don't you think maybe
that that
then
I can
you
see
get
why
to a
you would put that on the
space
back burner.
where if you're the guy to say it's a guy girl, you're the guy, then you need to figure out how to be embarrassed for an hour and go with your woman to go dancing.
Or be confident enough to say, go have fun and go dance.
Or that too. But
Yeah.
you might know that that's part of the class as a pickup and a guy.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
it's part
But
of
I
it.
mean, a woman gonna get pick up at a grocery store.
No,
Like,
I'm just saying in the sense of you, like you said, sultry. So there is dancing. There's going to be connection. There's going to be
yes,
some wiggles of the
Yes.
booty and all that stuff. As long as you know it's just
Yeah.
in fun.
right.
So you wouldn't
It's
walk,
exercise.
you wouldn't walk in and see some dude gyrating on your woman and grabbing her thigh and doing all the shaky shakes and not look at that situation like, okay, she looks like she's liking that a little too much.
Oh, I'd be like, babe, you are a really good dancer.
Okay,
like
okay.
you're a really good
Listen.
dancer. Yeah.
No, so no, I absolutely like. So why do you think it's kind of? You said you thought it was kind of one of those weird situations.
No, I could see why someone would go, ooh, I don't. Like, it's obviously going on a guy trip to play golf or women going on a girl's trip, whatever. But going dancing, I would say on a semi-regular basis, and I don't know the makeup. I don't know. I guess it's more of a connection than it is an adventure.
So what do you think happens on trips? Do you think it has to be social? Do you think it has to be professional, or does it make a difference if you travel? You know, like I think you could be on any trip, be it like work or leisure, and still have the same concerns and worries in either.
No, I work with guys in construction who are traveling.
Mm.
There ain't nothing sexy about what they're doing. They are welders, plumbers, electricians. They are away from their families. They're working 7-hour days, 12-hour days. They're away. They're doing the job, paying the bills, sending the money home to mama, and they're doing what they got to do for their family. That certainly is not the same as going fly fishing.
But I also think it depends on what you do professionally, because
if you're an entertainer,
or if you're just
no, I mean, like, you could be an entertainment lawyer.
Yeah.
You could be a contract person. I gotta fly to Miami to meet this client.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
I think it depends on what you're doing. If you're in a space where I'm like, I lay down dog tired every night. If you're a CEO of a company,
or like I said, you could be an agent. Like, imagine if you were LeBron James's agent.
Yeah.
You're all over the country.
Right.
Yeah.
Seeing people seeing you.
And being seen in all the top restaurants and all that. Yeah. You can go, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm at this party, but I'm working. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, fly fishing said isn't enough. So you think that a couple should have their own thing?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I think this is what I've come to. Don't suppress mine because you don't. Because I feel like this. If you don't find something that brings you joy and enjoy your outlet because your other person doesn't, well, then there's resentment.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you say, I really want to go on a golf trip, and your woman's like, oh my God, I hate when you go on these golf trips. You spend way too much money, and you're gone for 3 days. So then if he doesn't go, who's happy?
Yeah, right.
Like, she's satisfied that he didn't go?
Right.
And he's pissed off and resenting that he's not going? Yeah. So find a happy medium. Say, okay, well then I won't go out of town, but I'm golfing all day.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Or maybe you go, we each can have 2 trips a year, and this is the budget. And whatever you do with your trip.
Oh, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know whatever the number
is.
is.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't care where you go, but don't go nuts and you get,
Like, I saw a bike trip for somebody.
A bike trip?
Cycling trip. And it was in Italy. Well, they have them all over. Trek has them all over the world.
Yeah.
And you pack your bike. Well, you go there. They bring you the bike. And it's a group of 10 to 20 people. And you could ride through the Swiss Alps, tour of Italy, Barcelona. North Carolina. They have bike trips all over. And I'm looking at one right now.
Okay.
So if someone was with me, and I'm like, I'm going to spend this $2,000 and I'm going to Italy to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to eat good food. Right. Yes, but
yeah, you're not going to eat sandwiches on
not
the
at all.
That's
No. Yeah, but it is an ideal trip for me. I'm like, ooh, I would do that. But if I was with someone who was not a cyclist, then I would not go. Like, what if she was like, oh, I just think that's dumb.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna go there and just ride a bike for 5 days.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. But
what do you do when a person?
That's not your person.
Okay. Well, that's it, folks.
That's not your person. Yeah. If your person can't say, "Oh my God, should you be eating that? Because you're getting ready to go cycling and you need to be in your best shape, and I don't want you to get a Charlie horse." Yeah. Like your person has got to encourage you to do what makes you happy. Also.
No, you're right about. So you'd be okay if somebody said that to you, like, "Babe, you need to put that bagel down. Aren't you going to ride tomorrow?"
Yes.
Yeah, because that shows excitement or interest in what you're doing.
They care about that I'm at my optimum health or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Because then that's not your person.
No. I think you do get to a place if you find that you're constantly enjoying yourself alone in a space of your interests. And I don't think a person's got to like getting on a boat with you. But you should, if you've been married 30 years and you ain't never been on a boat with your husband. Like, I'm talking about fishing. Like, if you went fishing.
Yeah, some women, but I can't stand it.
Yeah, but
right?
you tried.
But they tried.
Yeah.
And then the guy will know this ain't for you.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even push it.
Right.
They don't even ask.
Yeah.
Like, she's not into that.
No.
Yeah.
No. But I think I feel like that would be anything. You got to show some interest in what your partner cares about.
Yeah.
And maybe,
there's someone I know, they just got back, and I was like, you went camping with them? She's like, I love to camp. And I was like, said no black girl ever, right? We laughed, and I was like, well, he found his person.
Yeah.
Because, he's got a little metal fishing boat, like a 17-foot fishing boat that fits in the garage.
Yeah.
He has a big Dodge Ram, and he has a camper.
Wow.
And he found his person.
Yeah.
He found, like, all of those things, you're like, no. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, None of those three
I
things.
guess I'm lucky that I have a person that isn't going to go fishing or camping. In fact, yeah, I just know that ain't going to happen on its own. So that way, I guess
Yeah.
we're safe. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're right. I think you have
But
to.
what if you had met someone who did?
I think we would have been in a dating process where I would have been like, I
This
don't
ain't.
know. Yeah, I think you weed out people sometimes when you date.
You should.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, they're really outdoorsy. Now,
Right.
what you do when they flip the script on you, like
Yeah.
where do you? I think part of being married for a long time is not is recognizing and being able to have someone who embraces the idea as well that you can change and
Yes.
grow with new interests.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
some of the things stay there. Like if anybody knew me at 20, I liked to dance. If anybody knows me at 50, I like to dance.
Right.
So finding someone that has that interest or will occasionally entertain it with you
Yeah.
is important. That
Yeah.
I think someone, and to your point, if you're not stifling your own, you know,
Mm-hmm.
your desires and your wishes and your hobbies. But you asked me about travel, so I have been trying to do something for myself. I'm happier. I feel like I come home more refreshed when I've been off to myself.
Oh yeah.
I had a friend. We talked about traveling, and there's just an element for women. I don't know, maybe it's the same for guys, but when you're a woman and you're married and you have kids, and I'm speaking in that wheelhouse personally, I feel like you're able to rediscover yourself I'm for this period of time. I'm just Kim.
Yep. I'm not a mom.
I'm not a mom.
Yep.
I'm not a wife. I
Yep.
mean, my behavior, of
Of
course, is going to say I'm not
Of
go out there
course.
like on
People can look
tabletops.
at you and go, "You're a mom
Yeah,
and a wife."
But
yes.
but
the duties.
but my duties are not. Yes,
You're off the clock.
I'm off the clock. And just
That's it.
Yeah, being in
That's
Vegas
it.
and
You're
walking
off the
in,
clock.
I'm off the clock. And when you can just lay in your bed and
That's
nobody's
funny. That just landed with me.
registered,
Because you said with people who travel for work, they're off the clock.
they're off the clock. They're off the clock. And I think that's one of my little because I think anybody can turn it into like, oh, it's business, but I'm like,
You're off the clock.
you're off the clock. And like
Yeah.
when you're off, even when you're on a trip and you're off the clock, who are you responsible for?
Yeah.
Like, is there something to that?
Yeah.
You can, you wake up in peace when the alarm goes off. Nobody's jumping in the shower.
Yep.
Nobody like
You're
just
not racing for the sink to brush your teeth. You're not doing any of that. Yep.
frustrated about towels in the floor except they're your towels.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You're off the clock. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
off the clock. Off the clock. Off the clock.
So you would encourage your daughter or son to travel?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of things I would want for them to be mindful that they are aware of as they enter a relationship. Whether
Okay.
that's one just dating and serious, or whether that's something like marriage, is to
Yeah.
make sure that you're covering yourself with your own joy. And that
Gotcha.
you know what it is and that you're not with someone who's intimidated by your joy.
True. Or thinks what you do is dumb,
Or that.
right?
Right.
Because somebody's like, why? Like if you were into flowers, and I'm
Yeah.
making, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some flower exhibit somewhere.
Yeah.
And someone's like, so you really gonna go to Washington D.C. to watch the cherry
Blossoms. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah, because that's what I like to do.
Or
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Or like, go to not New Orleans, go to Nashville so that you can go sit on a bench that was dedicated to Taylor Swift. I think that's cool. And I'm like, oh, we should go to Nashville so we can see this park and see this bench.
Yeah.
And not have somebody. Well, you know what? I think it's the same. Like my Christmas joys used to just become crap because I had family that just made fun of my Christmas joy.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a long time to go, you know what? Kiss my butt. This is who I am, and you sure don't have no problem taking gifts or coming over to my house eating my food at Christmas.
That's right.
So stop with all
The
that.
F-50s are real.
Yes, they are, and in full force. So
All right.
no,
That was a good one. I wanted to
No,
know. I wanted
yeah.
to know because we're coming up on a travel season,
Yeah.
and I know people have opinions or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, oh, let me ask a married woman with children
yeah,
about the traveling.
yeah. I definitely think women need to do their own thing, and I try now. Like I sausage I'm going with my family on a trip here in a few weeks, but I'm still trying to plan my thing.
Yeah.
Because the expectations are going to be different.
Absolutely.
And so I'm still like, what are we doing this fall? Like, are we getting into something? Because I want to, do
Yeah,
my girl trip, my no family trip.
Okay.
So-
Off the clock trip.
My off the clock trip. I want to be off the clock.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Okay.
that was a good one.
Yeah. I'm glad we had that one. Okay.
All right. Take care till next time.
Bye.
Bye.